Well, we're already halfway into this radio broadcast. Got an hour and 52 minutes left in transmission. For the next hour, we're going to have Bob Chapman on with us and all News Blitz and have open phones in the last hour of this live Friday, the 5th day of February 2010 edition. You know, we have an online video bookstore where my 24 award-winning films are on DVD. We have all the Patriot T-shirts so that you can spread the word when you're out on the streets and meet like-minded people, and your purchase of the books, videos, and T-shirts and ball caps also funds this operation. Now, this is free market resistance to the New World Order. Our sponsors also make it possible, so thank you for supporting them. But, you know, I was involved as a consultant and also appeared in Jesse Ventura's hit TV show, and they're looking at a second season right now. We should have news very soon for you on that on True TV. And the media is saying, wow, record ratings on True TV for this. People really want to know about conspiracies. No, they don't trust the media anymore, and they want government crimes investigated. Well, Jesse Ventura has written a new book. I think it's his best book. I've read Don't Start the Revolution Without Me, Ain't Got Time to Bleed, and others. And, you know, I helped wake up Ventura, so did his son Tyrell. And there's a lot of me in this book. I mean, a lot of information that we've helped Ventura look into. You notice the name is American Conspiracies. And the original pilot TV show, for Court TV, now True TV, was with myself, of course, was called American Conspiracy. And it covers it all. Read more about what the book covers at Infowars.com on the shopping cart page. Now, it doesn't ship out until early March. We're talking a month away. But the books are actually being shipped to me next week. We're going to have them pretty much for anybody else. The book is $24.95 in bookstores when it hits store shelves. That's the retail price. We're selling it for $19.95. Jesse Ventura's new book, American Conspiracies, Lies, Lies, and More Lies Your Government Told You. And this is certainly a book that everybody needs to get, and you can get free when you order it. And be the first to get it. You can get free Reflections and Warnings with Aaron Russo, that final interview I did with him. It's a documentary, very powerful. It's free. You can get Loose Change Final Cut, an excellent 9/11 documentary to wake folks up, free when you order it with American Conspiracies. You can, of course, also get half price, Fall of the Republic, and we have a deal up there on the site where you can get a T-shirt for $5.95 when you get it with American Conspiracy. So you basically get a free T-shirt because the regular price of the book's $24.95. Again, Infowars.com, or call toll-free to pre-order the book. Ships in early March. The official date's the 8th. But the point is, ladies and gentlemen, get the book today, Infowars.com, or call toll-free, 888-253-3139, American Conspiracies, with former Minnesota Governor Jesse Ventura, and it is a powerful book. You might have them add on the shopping cart. Tell Tim the full title, American Conspiracies, Lies, Lies, and More Lies from Your Government. Get him to add that, because it just went up today for folks that are interested. Thank you so much. Okay, I want to get into the economy first, because for 2 years, they've been telling us that the economy is getting better. They were telling us that really 4 years ago. And so I want Bob Chapman, who's really the leading expert we have on of so many economists, brokers, researchers, trends forecasters. Dr. Paul Craig Roberts 2.5 months ago, said that when the carry trade reversed to the U.S., that other currencies were imploding so bad that for a while the dollar would go back up and gold would probably go down, but then race up later. And we saw it go down, race back up, now go down somewhat. But as Damon Vickers said earlier, all that's left at the end of the day is gold and silver. And he doesn't sell gold and silver. He's telling you that, though, because that's all that has any real value. And so you have a depression in the real economy while the banks fill themselves and their fat bellies full of trillions of dollars. You have government worldwide ballooning in size because it's the mechanism for taking the public's wealth and giving it to the elite and giving some chicken feed to the unwashed masses to control them. And so much is going on. Stock market plunging while the dollar goes up. You've got Pennsylvania and other states, California, saying they're going into bankruptcy. You've got states and cities passing taxes on food, baby food, milk, I mean, talk about draconian. They're going to squeeze and squeeze. Is there a method to this madness, and where is it all going? Bob Chapman of the internationalforecaster.com. Thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you, and it's very nice to be back. And I only wish that we had yourself and Jesse and others like you in the early 1960s. It wouldn't have been such a hard 50 years. But with that said, we've crossed a great river here, and that is we're really delivering the message, and we're really getting out there, and we're really driving the Illuminists crazy. And they're on the run, as we've discussed before. As far as the economy is concerned, sources told me this morning that they expect that the administration is going to look for $150 billion as another stimulus program, nothing like the almost $800 billion that they had before. But you got to remember they're going to, out of the budget, double the amount of money that is spent on education. They're going to, in some way, create jobs by using credits and tax things.
And just to interrupt, Bob, you said in October of 2008 there would be a second stimulus in 2010 when they were swearing there wouldn't be. How did you know that?
I knew that because they really should have not done $800 billion. They really needed about $1.5 trillion. And as it's happened, they didn't have enough, and they need more. And what they did get, obliquely, was a hand through the quantitative easing program, the $23.7 trillion. But even that hasn't been enough. And so they're going to spend $100 billion, quote, creating jobs. Of course, it'll be short-term and won't work. And they're going to give states loans of $25 billion to keep them from going bankrupt. And so if you add it all up, it comes close to $500 billion, and that's what I figured they might be able to get away with, and that's what they've got. And that will carry them probably into the election, and that's it. And then everything will sputter and go down again. You saw the GDP figures, and it was 5.7% growth in the final quarter of last year. And of that, 60% or more was replacing inventory. So the real growth was 2.4% officially. And it was probably a little bit less than that. My guess was 1.5% to 2.5%. But I'm not going to argue. It was all created by infusion of capital of one kind of another.
And by the election, you mean the 2010 congressional election coming up. You see them trying to stall the collapse until then. You see things getting a lot worse next year.
Yes. And unless they come along with another, I think the next time they'll need $1 trillion to $1.5 trillion. If they're going to do that, the Fed talks about withdrawing money from the system. They can't do that. It'll collapse. They've taken money and credit, the old M3, down from 17.4% to approximately 3%. And, the European Central Bank has brought theirs down from 12.8% to minus 0.08%.
Why is the Bank of England slowing printing?
For the same reason the others are. It's all coordinated. They're down to 3%, and they had a high of 14.5%. And what they're up to exactly, I can't figure out, because they're skating along the edge of deflationary depression by taking down M3 and M4. The Europeans call it M4, and so they cannot take any money out of the system unless they want it to collapse.
But put this in layman terms, because I study this constantly, and I'm with you, but barely. So a lot of the audience may not. In layman's terms, they give themselves $28 trillion conservatively in the U.S. alone, another $20 trillion globally. They're buying up all the real assets. They're not letting local banks loan. They clearly want to implode the economy so they can consolidate. While they're claiming they're trying to hire jobs, they're just massing the government against us, growing their muscle against their slaves. And if they and then now central banks are starting to cut money supply and are starting to cut the issuance of currency, which does forestall things. So it looks like they want things to implode, or just stall it just long enough, or what?